friends, welcome back. Thank you for joining me here. Today I wanted to talk about, for those mamas who are planning to nurse or to pump, these were the lists that I wrote down for my future self and for my friends and family, because I wanted to remember that first time around with my first son, what were the items that really helped me as I was learning to nurse and breastfeed, and we had a lot of challenges that we worked through. And so I hope that this, if someone knows an expecting parent, knows an expecting mama, and they're planning to nurse or pump, that you can use some of these ideas and give them just like a little basket of things that can provide comfort, especially if there are challenges in those early days. And I don't think it's talked about enough. Like we utilized a lactation consultant. I had numerous friends and family helping me figure it out, and it was painful. It got so much better around that 7-8 week mark, and these comfort items were really helpful for me in those early days, and just give me a little bit of comfort when things were really painful. My nipples were cracked and trying to heal, while also wanting to nurse my little guy, because that was my main priority and focus. And I know other women also feel the same way, and I struggled with the guilt of offering just one bottle. I felt really guilty to do that. But once I did that one time in the middle of the night around like that 3-week mark, and that was a night and day difference to just get a little bit of relief between the nursing sessions. So again, this is the list that I wrote down for myself, for future friends and family, any expecting mamas, that I thought, hey, I utilized these items in particular in those early days in the trenches a lot. And it is around nursing and pumping. So if you're not a mama who's planning to do either of these, please move along. This is just particular to those mamas who are out there and who will be trying to nurse or breastfeed or pump. All right, so I'm going to jump into this list for you all. The first one are Silverettes. Really helpful, really soothing to just put a little bit of your breast milk on these Silverettes. They're silver, and then you just put them right over your nipples in your bra. Super helpful, super soothing. Would highly recommend. There's also, I got the Medela brand. They're called soft shells. They're a hard little circular plastic piece that helps give you actually some airflow. So you'll also put that over your nipple and inside your bra, and it helps get airflow to your nipple, so that as they are healing, because they're super sore, they got cracked or they got bitten into in those early days, it's really helpful for me to switch between, I'm using the Silverettes with my breast milk, and then I'm also having them dry out because they were so sensitive. So as anyone who's been through it, it's you're half naked in your house all the time. But it also was nice, instead of being cold, then hey, I had these little like hard shell that allowed some airflow so that the nipples could still heal. So instead of wet healing, it was like that dry kind of healing. So again, I would alternate between the Silverettes and the soft shells, both really helpful. In this, I used Earth Mama Nipple balm. It's organic. It was really nice and soothing. I also use coconut oil, and then obviously like my breast milk. So I would kind of rotate between those three on what I was feeling. I felt like doing just one didn't help as quickly, but when I was rotating between them, like after every nursing session, that was also nice. Using Earth Mama, or I also use coconut oil or breast milk, you do not need to wipe any of that off before your next nursing session. I know there are some like nipple creams and balms that you need to wipe off. Really didn't want that. Really just wanted something really easy, simple, could just lather on and leave it there. Help the healing, help expedite the healing process for me. Those are really helpful to have to rotate between. Next on here, I have nursing pads. So I really enjoyed having some disposables and also the reusable ones. And I like the disposables for traveling purposes. with my firstborn, we were traveling out of state actually. So it was really helpful to have those and not have to keep on hand my reusable ones or doctor's appointments or whenever we were going out and about anywhere. And again, this was for me, like the pads, I would leak. I know some friends that never leaked. So this may not be applicable to you, but it was nice to have them on hand. I did utilize them. I reutilized the reusable nursing pads for my second time around with my second born. So having it as an option for a new mama who may or may not need it, but just knowing that it's there and it's an option, I think is really helpful. You can just get a small pack. I just think having it on hand in case they need it is really nice, and then they don't need their significant others running out in the middle of the night. Next up is a nursing bra and a pumping bra. And I knew I wanted to pump extra breast milk to have some on hand and just over time slowly build up a freezer stash. And so having a great pumping bra that can hold the flanges in place, game changer. I would highly recommend just like buying a couple off of Amazon, trying them out, and the ones that don't work, that don't hold the suction, just to return those, because each woman, everyone is different. So if you're wanting to help a mama, like when you know that the baby has been born, just order like a couple different brands, ship it to her house, and then she can figure out what works for her, and then she can return the ones that don't. So these are just great options, one less thing that she would need to worry about, and it's something that I went through and was really helpful to get that hands-free once you figure out the right flange size. I know there are pumps out there that are hands-free. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about them. I personally have never used one, but I've had friends successfully use them and love them. I just never have. I use the Spectra, and that's worked great for me, so that's what I've continued to use. And I'm not exclusively pumping. I'm pumping once a day just to build up a little bit of extra stash. So that's what I would recommend to anyone out there who is an expecting mom. Hey, just get a couple, try them out, and then return the ones that you don't. And it also is dependent on what pump you're going to use. I feel like that could be a whole separate, conversation that we have, but just having some that work if you plan to pump at all is great to get you hands-free. Another item that I have on here is nipple gel pads. Oh, these are so soothing. You can buy them and stick them in the fridge, and it's just like a little pad. It's gel, and you can put that right on your nipple like right after a nursing session, and it was just so soothing, because during when your nipples are trying to heal, they get really red and they get really raw, and so getting something that's nice and cool that can just sit on there, and then they're reusable for a couple of times, so you can wear them until the next nursing session, peel them off, put them back on the pad, put them back in the fridge, and you can use them for a few times over and over, which is really nice. They are a little pricier. When I say pricier, probably like $10-12 for 2 or 3 of these pads, but so worth it. So if you're wanting to be a little extravagant and, for yourself or for someone else, I would definitely recommend those, because it was a nice, again, relief to add into the rotation, especially when you're in the trenches. Just having a variety and having options is really nice. Next one I have here is more for nursing moms in particular, but having some nursing tank tops and some nursing bras that are not specific to pumping. The tank tops are just so versatile to continue to use during your breastfeeding journey, to just stick underneath like any of your normal, once you're able to fit back in, if you're able to fit back into your normal clothes or just any shirt that you're wearing, to just put that tank top on underneath. Instantly, like, you just feel so much more comfortable. So when you're lifting up your shirt to nurse and to breastfeed, you don't feel uncomfortable because your belly's covered, and then you're just lifting up your shirt, pulling that down to be able to nurse. Would really recommend. It was great. I do also, sometimes I'll also wear the nursing bra depending on how comfortable I'm feeling, because everything is about comfort in postpartum. So figuring out what you feel most comfortable, and it would change for me on a daily basis, but whatever feels most comfortable to you, that's what you need to do. That's what you need to lean into. And I'll leave it at that. The next one, these are not like specific to nursing or breastfeeding, but these are just items that my husband and I felt were really helpful in those early days, and I'm just going to go through them and then you guys may understand. Receiving blankets, having a bunch of these on hand for swaddling, for spit up, for burping, like anything. These were wonderful. Even like changing diapers in the living room, just having a bunch of them on hand. Super nice. Super nice. So again, just add it in. If you're buying for someone that you know, or you're an expecting parent, just get extra. You're going to use them so much in those early days, and that's going to be so worth it to not worry about like trying to grab your own fresh towels. Just using these blankets is wonderful. A preemie bottle / nipple, even if you don't plan to give a bottle, just having one on hand as a backup. So if you are planning to breastfeed and nurse, just having a bottle on hand with the preemie nipple and the correct size, just so you have that ease of mind and knowing that it is an option, may help the mom really mentally, just to know that it's there just in case. Not that she needs to utilize it or lean into it. And obviously if a mama's planning to pump, any bottles, getting a bunch of them is going to be perfect because they're going to need them a lot and be cycling through them. The last two items is a nightlight and a nursery clock. And I think I wouldn't say overlooked it for our first time around for our baby registry, but in the early days we're like, gosh, we really need a clock in here. Like it felt like once baby was in their own room, it was like you would go in there and you would have no idea what time it is. My husband and I, we like don't really wear watches a whole lot. We started wearing our Fitbits recently, but we would just go into the baby's room and have no idea how much time had passed. So having a clock in there was really nice, and we just got the old school, like super cheap old school clock, which was great. That's what worked for us and helped us mentally in those middle of the nights needing to go in there and help soothe baby. Perfect. The night light, just getting something that can be really, really dim, because you don't want something that's too bright. And we've tried 2 different ones now with both of our kids. I wouldn't say that either of them is amazing. They both work really well. And I'm not sure what would make it amazing. They both work well. Get something that can dim, get something that can light up. Like my son, he has something that can change colors. My daughter does too, but my son's can change like automatically. And he seems to love that, especially recently. So just little things. And I hope that any expecting mama, this can help you, give you an idea of what may help comfort items during those early days, especially with nursing and breastfeeding. And if you're pumping, like your nipples go through so much, your breasts go through so many changes, and comfort is huge. So important in those early days. So take care of you. I hope this gives you some great tips and tricks, some great suggestions for you to try, or gift ideas to pass along to an expecting mama. But thank you all for tuning in. Love hearing from you. Please comment below. And looking forward for us to connect next time. Bye.